5 of them are what I would call straight up referrals. So just referrals that name someone and name the specific crimes. Those crimes are lying to Congress, misleading Congress, leaking classified information. So 5 of them are those types. There are 3 that I think are more complicated.
Well, that was my next guest, House Intel Ranking Member Devin Nunes, talking about the 8 criminal referrals he sent to Attorney General Bill Barr, alleging multiple violations during the Mueller investigation. Well, tonight we have an important update. Sources familiar with the matter tell Fox News that the referrals include conspiracy, go beyond the 8 individuals, and will look at the Steele dossier's origins. Joining me now on these developments, Congressman Devin Nunes. Congressman, good to have you with us tonight. You say you're looking for answers.
Great to be with you.
To 3 key issues, key questions in this Mueller report. Now, what do you want to see addressed specifically?
Well, what I'm going to be looking for is there's 3 specific areas where I think there was some type of setup involved. So the first is involved with General Flynn. General Flynn was supposedly entrapped, was meeting with a Russian woman. I want to know what really happened there because, we're just now finding out about this and we need a lot more information on, what really was General Flynn doing, because it's a big deal if somebody within our intelligence agencies were accusing a 3-star general of having some type of Russian fling. It's serious stuff, and I want to get to the bottom of that. The second big question you have is Joseph Mifsud. Joseph Mifsud is how this whole investigation started. And let me tell you, Mueller describes him as some type of Russian asset of some kind. Well, if Joseph Mifsud was a Russian asset, we've got big problems with our British and Italian allies because he seems to be pictured with every British and Italian person that we know of. So that's something we also want to know about. And Mifsud was the guy who set up Papadopoulos. Finally, the third issue I'm going to know about is this infamous Trump Tower meeting. When you hear the Democrats talk about that there's evidence in plain sight, well, the Russians that are involved in the Trump Tower, the infamous Trump Tower meeting in New York, I call them the Fusion GPS Russians. Fusion GPS was the company that was working for the Clinton campaign and the Democrats, and somehow Glenn Simpson meets with them before and after, and he's actually, these are Russians that he's doing work for. I mean, come on. If Mueller can't get to the bottom of this and answer this for the American people, I don't know what the report was really worth.
So on Thursday, the Democrats are going to complain, invariably, they have before, inevitably, that the report contains redactions. Isn't it the case that ranking members with a certain clearance level can go read the unredacted report in what's called a SCIF, a secure area? So Pelosi, in other words, and Schiff, and others, obviously you can, go read the whole report. And if they think the redactions are wrong, they can actually make a fuss about those. So isn't this whole redactions debate kind of ridiculous?
Yeah, so what you're referring to is the Gang of 8. So the Gang of 8 is made up of the Democrat and Republican leader in the House and the Senate, and then the chair and ranking member of the Senate Intelligence Committee and the House Intelligence Committee. So I would see no reason why we couldn't go into a SCIF over at the Department of Justice. We've had to do it many times over the course of this investigation over the last two-plus years. Go over there and read whatever is redacted. At that point, if there was something that they really wanted out, they could put it out. But remember what's happened over the last 2.5 years, Laura. What you had is you had leaks at the highest level coming from someone within the FBI or the Department of Justice, or just making something up out of whole cloth that the media would jump on. And I hope that we don't have that problem. I hope that we don't have an issue where there's redactions where you have people leaking out, oh, this is what the redactions really mean. Because, we know one thing. No. Whatever happens on Thursday, Donald Trump is a free man. There's no evidence whatsoever of collusion. They tried to frame him on obstruction of justice, and they didn't get him on that either, even though they tried to frame him. So this thing's over on Thursday for the American people, but the Democrats in Congress are going to continue to try to investigate, and my guess is that their friends in the media will play part of that.
Oh, no, they're going to go nuts. They're going to go crazy on Thursday all the way through, the second and third weeks of Easter. Now, Congressman, today, 3 top Republicans in the Senate demanding information on the handling of the Clinton email probe. And in a letter to the DOJ, Senators Grassley, Johnson, and Graham wrote, now that the special counsel's investigation has concluded, we are unaware of any legitimate basis upon which the department can refuse to answer the Judiciary Committee's inquiries. So this is obviously originating in the Senate, but this is something you all are interested in as well, correct?
Very, very much so. And also, don't forget, it was the Mueller investigation, Mueller himself, who did not allow us to see certain documents that we wanted to see over the last 2.5 years. Remember, we have to come on your show, and
right.
I would subpoena Rod Rosenstein, and then we get in this big fight, and eventually we'd have to go over to the Department of Justice. Well, there are several documents that at the end of the day, they fell back to, oh, this is the special counsel, sorry, you can't see it. We want to see those documents too. That's why I go back to what I said at the beginning of this piece, is that there are some really serious unanswered questions that the American people need answers to, and if they're not in the Mueller report, hopefully Attorney General Barr is going to get us those answers.
Well, if people were convicted or forced to plead guilty when prosecutors had exculpatory information or investigators had exculpatory information on them, whether it was Flynn or Papadopoulos, maybe even Carter Page, that entire surveillance of him and Roger Stone. I mean, everyone has to know about this. Congressman, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.